Have you noticed small changes in someone you love, subtle shifts that just don't feel right? Many people believe that when an elderly person passes, it happens suddenly. But in reality, the body often sends quiet signals, sometimes for months, even up to a year before the final stage of life begins. These signs aren't loud or dramatic. They're soft and easy to overlook. The sad truth is, most people miss them. They seem like normal signs of aging. Only later, when looking back, do families realize those gentle clues were there all along. By then, it's often too late. Too late to say what needed to be said. Too late to create the memories that could have lasted a lifetime. In this video, we're going to explore 5 subtle signs that often appear during the final year of life. Some might seem familiar, maybe you've noticed them and brushed them off. Others might surprise you, but each one carries a message worth listening to. Because when you catch these signs early, you give yourself something precious. Time. Time to care. Time to prepare. Time to be fully present for the moments that still matter. This isn't about fear. It's about love. It's about helping someone you care about experience their final chapter with comfort, dignity, and peace. So stay with us. What you're about to learn may help you face one of life's hardest moments with more clarity, more calm, and more heart. When you understand what's really happening, you won't be caught off guard, and you'll be ready to make the most of the time you still have. Let's begin. Sign number 1, unexplained weight loss. One of the earliest and most telling signs that someone may be approaching their final year of life is unexpected weight loss. It might start subtly. Your loved one's belt needs tightening, their clothes start hanging a bit looser, or their once hearty appetite slowly fades. At first glance, it's easy to chalk it up to just getting older. But here's the truth. When someone begins losing weight without trying, it's rarely a good sign. It often means the body is no longer processing nutrients the way it should. Muscle mass begins to shrink. Vital systems start slowing down. Yes, some muscle loss is a normal part of aging, but when it happens too quickly, it's usually a sign of something deeper. The body may be struggling to digest food or losing the ability to absorb protein, both of which lead to muscle weakness. And that weakness doesn't just make daily movement harder. It raises the risk of falls, weakens the immune system, and leaves the body more vulnerable to infections. On top of that, appetite itself often changes in the final year of life. Many older adults simply stop feeling hungry. Their sense of taste fades. Food no longer brings joy. They may start skipping meals or eating far less than before. It's not about being picky. It's a natural shift. The body, sensing that it's slowing down, stops sending strong signals to seek out food. And the result? Less energy, reduced strength, and a slow, steady decline in overall health. Underlying medical conditions can make this worse. Weight loss is often an early sign of chronic illnesses like cancer, heart failure, or kidney disease issues that may go undetected until much later. Even conditions like depression or dementia can lead someone to eat less, creating a downward spiral where the body simply doesn't get the fuel it needs. Families often try to help by offering favorite meals, adding protein shakes, or encouraging more snacks. But if the weight continues to drop despite these efforts, it's important to understand that this isn't just about eating habits. It may be the body's way of preparing for something bigger. At this stage, pushing for larger meals often isn't effective. What matters more is comfort, offering easy-to-eat foods, staying hydrated, and focusing on what makes your loved one feel cared for and at ease. If you've noticed a loved one losing significant weight, especially if they're eating less, growing weaker, or struggling to stay active, it's time to pay attention. This isn't just about appearance. It's the body sending a message. Recognizing that message now can help you move forward with clarity, compassion, and the ability to make every remaining moment count. Sign number 2. Persistent fatigue and deep physical weakness. One of the most noticeable shifts in the final year of life is a kind of fatigue that rest just can't fix. This isn't about feeling a little tired after a long day. It's a level of exhaustion so profound that even simple tasks start to feel impossible. Getting out of bed becomes a struggle. Walking across the room takes effort. Everyday routines, cooking, dressing, even having a conversation begin to feel like too much. This goes far beyond normal aging. It's the body conserving its final reserves of energy. As organs begin to slow down, the body starts prioritizing only what's essential. The heart no longer pumps with the same strength, circulation weakens, and muscles receive less oxygen. That's why many elderly people in their final months feel increasingly weak and unsteady. The things they once did easily now feel out of reach. Another major factor is a slowdown in metabolism. The body is designed to create and use energy, but as it nears its final phase, that energy is redirected. Instead of powering movement, the body shifts into conservation mode. That's why someone in decline may start sleeping more, taking longer naps, and finding it hard to stay awake for extended periods. Some may even experience sudden drops in energy, feeling alert one moment, then completely wiped out the next. But perhaps the hardest part of all this isn't physical, it's emotional. People who once took pride in their independence often feel frustrated, even embarrassed, when they can no longer do what they used to. They may pull away from conversations, skip social events, or abandon hobbies. Not because they've lost interest, but because they simply don't strength. And that can lead to a cycle of isolation. As they stop trying, their condition may decline even faster. For families, it can be heartbreaking to see someone you love fade from active and engaged to quiet and withdrawn. It's easy to mistake it for laziness or believe they just need to push through. But the truth is, pushing won't help. What matters most is recognizing their limits, offering rest when they need it, and creating comfort in the moments they still have. If your loved one is experiencing deep, ongoing fatigue that doesn't go away with rest, take it as a sign. Their body's going through a profound transition. This is the time to slow down with them, to make space for gentle conversations, quiet presence, and meaningful support, without expectations or pressure. Because in the end, it's not about what they can do. It's about how they feel, seen, supported, and at peace. And if you've found this insight helpful, type the number 2 in the comments so I know you're still with me. And if you haven't yet, consider subscribing and turning on the bell so you won't miss the next video. Your support helps us continue creating content that informs and inspires. Now, let's keep going. Sign number 3. Increased confusion, or emotional withdrawal. As someone approaches the final stage of life, one of the most noticeable changes often isn't physical, it's how they think, speak, and connect with others. You may start to see signs in someone who used to be sharp and engaged. They begin forgetting more often, struggling to follow conversations, or feeling lost in places that were once familiar. They might repeat themselves, forget names, or lose track of time altogether. Even if they've never had memory issues before, these small mental shifts can begin months or even a year before passing. And this typical forgetfulness. Like any other organ, the brain relies on a steady flow of oxygen and nutrients to function well. But as circulation slows and oxygen levels drop, the brain's ability to process information declines. That's when confusion sets in. Decision-making becomes harder. Familiar faces and places feel unfamiliar. In some cases, they may seem clear and present one moment, then suddenly confuse the next, like their mind is flickering in and out. Another common sign is emotional withdrawal. People nearing the end of life often begin to pull away from social interaction. You might notice they speak less, engage less, or spend long stretches sitting quietly. It's not that they don't care anymore. It's that their brain simply can't handle emotions and social cues the way it used to. Conversations become exhausting. Loud environments feel overwhelming. Eventually, many older adults retreat into a quiet, inner world of their own. You may also notice shifts in mood or personality. Some people grow irritable or anxious. Others seem distant, indifferent, or detached from the things they once loved. It's not a change in who they are, it's the brain adjusting as the body begins to shut down. When mental clarity fades, emotions can become difficult to express. Their reactions change. Their energy fades. And for family members, this stage can be especially painful. Watching someone you love slip away emotionally before they're physically gone can feel like grieving twice. But it's important to remember, this isn't something they're choosing. It's not something they can control. Instead of trying to bring them back into a conversation, try to meet them where they are. Speak gently, offer comfort, and know that even if they don't respond the way they used to, your presence still matters. If your loved one is becoming more forgetful, more confused, or more withdrawn, don't ignore it. These are often early signs that the body and mind are beginning the final transition. It's a time to slow down, to honor the quiet moments, and to focus on creating an environment that feels safe, familiar, and peaceful. Because even when words fade, love and comfort can still be deeply felt. Let's keep going. Sign number 4. Frequent infections and slow healing. As the body begins to wind down, one of the clearest physical signs is a weakening immune system. You may notice that someone who rarely got sick before now seems to catch every cold, every little bug, or suddenly struggles with recurring infections. Minor illnesses take longer to recover from. Even small cuts or bruises that used to heal in days now linger for weeks. These changes aren't random. They're a sign that the body is no longer able to defend or repair itself the way it once could. One major concern during this time is repeated infections. Things like pneumonia, urinary tract infections, skin infections, even mouth sores, these all become more common when the immune system is struggling. Families often think of these as isolated incidents. But when infections keep coming back, or healing slows down significantly, it's usually a sign that the body is losing its fight. Even antibiotics, the go-to solution for so long, can start to lose their effectiveness. It may take stronger medications, longer recovery periods, or multiple rounds of treatment to manage infections that used to be considered minor. Why? Because as circulation slows and organs weaken, the body simply can't respond to treatment the way it used to. Another red flag is chronic wounds. If you notice that small scrapes, sores, or bruises don't heal well or keep reappearing, it's likely due to poor circulation. When blood flow slows down, oxygen and nutrients don't reach the skin or tissues effectively, making the healing process slower. For those who are less mobile, bed sores or pressure ulcers become a serious risk. If left untreated, these can lead to severe infections and a great deal of pain. What's even more concerning is how infections often show up differently in the final year of life. Instead of high fevers or obvious symptoms, an older adult might simply seem more tired, more confused, or less interested in food. In fact, a sudden change in mental clarity is often the first sign of an underlying infection in older adults. These early clues matter. Recognizing them quickly can make a real difference in how comfortable and well cared for your loved one feels in their final chapter. For families, watching a loved one go through repeated infections can be both frustrating and heartbreaking. It's tempting to try stronger treatments, to hope that one more round of antibiotics or one more hospital visit will fix things. But at a certain point, the focus often shifts from curing the illness to offering comfort, making sure they're hydrated, keeping their skin clean and moisturized, and relieving stress on the body may do more for their well-being than another round of meds. Because sometimes, the most healing thing we can offer is peace. If you've made it this far in the video and found this information helpful, please comment the number 4 below to let me know you're here. And if you haven't already, I invite you to subscribe and hit the bell so you won't miss the next video. Your support helps us continue creating thoughtful, meaningful content to inform and inspire. Let's keep going. Sign number 5. Major changes in breathing or circulation. As the body moves closer to the end of life, one of the most visible signs is a noticeable shift in breathing patterns and circulation. You may start to see your loved one breathing more slowly, more shallowly, or with less rhythm than before. At times, their breathing might pause between breaths or become irregular, speeding up, then slowing down again. Some may even develop a pattern known as Cheyne-Stokes respiration, where deep, rapid breaths alternate with long periods of silence. These changes may begin subtly, but over time, they become more frequent and easier to recognize. Another common sign is poor circulation. You might notice their hands, feet, nose, or ears feel cold to the touch. Their skin may appear pale, bluish, or mottled, especially around the fingers and toes. This happens because the body begins to redirect blood away from the limbs and toward vital organs. It's a clear sign the heart is no longer pumping as strongly as it once did. Some people also experience shortness of breath with even the smallest movements. Just sitting up, changing positions, or speaking can leave them winded. You may notice they breathe through their mouth more often or stop mid-sentence to catch their breath. If they once moved easily across the room but now struggle with every step, it's likely their lungs are weakening. In some cases, fluid buildup in the lungs can make breathing even harder. This may cause persistent coughing, wheezing, or a heavy feeling in the chest. While it can sound like simple congestion, in someone nearing the end of life, it's often a sign that the lungs are no longer functioning efficiently. Lying flat may become uncomfortable. They might prefer sleeping propped up on pillows or resting in a recliner where it's easier to breathe. For family members, these changes can feel frightening. It's natural to want to help to encourage deeper breaths or worry that something serious is happening. And while these symptoms can feel alarming, they're often part of the body's natural slowing down. There may not always be a way to stop them, but there are ways to ease the discomfort. Keeping the room cool, using a humidifier, or offering small sips of water can bring some relief. In some cases, medications or oxygen therapy may be used to reduce distress, but at this stage, the focus shifts from fixing to comforting. If you notice irregular breathing, cold limbs, or a bluish tint to the skin, take it as a sign that the body is conserving its final energy. This is the time to simply be present, offer calm, reassurance, and a peaceful space where they feel safe and cared for. As we come to the end of this video, I invite you to take a quiet moment to reflect on what we've covered. Significant weight loss, deep, unshakable fatigue, changes in memory and engagement, frequent infections, and those noticeable shifts in breathing and circulation. These 5 signs often begin appearing in the year before an elderly loved one passes. They don't always happen all at once, and at first, they might not be easy to recognize. But when you start noticing them, it's the body's way of signaling that it's preparing for a transition. For many families, these changes can be hard to accept. The instinct is to push back, to encourage more eating, more movement, more effort, and that comes from love. But sometimes, the most compassionate thing we can do is simply listen to what the body is trying to say. Instead of fighting the inevitable, we can shift our focus toward making the time that's left as peaceful, meaningful, and loving as possible. Understanding these signs isn't about fearing death. It's about preparing for it. Recognizing what's happening gives you the power to care more deeply, make thoughtful decisions ahead of time, and ensure your loved one's final months are filled with dignity, comfort, and connection. This is the time to slow down, to cherish the moments, to share memories, and to remind them, as often as you can, that they are deeply loved and never alone. If you've noticed any of these signs in someone close to you, take a deep breath. Know that you are not alone on this path. Many families have walked it, and while it's never easy, being prepared can help you find strength, patience, and peace. Thank you for being here with us today. We'd love to hear from you. Please leave a comment below and share what you took away from this video. Let us know how you plan to carry this understanding into your life. Your voice matters to us. Your stories help others feel seen and supported, and your encouragement keeps us going. If you found this video helpful, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who might need it. Your support helps us continue creating content that informs and inspires. Thank you for watching, and we hope to see you in the next video.